What's up, party people, and welcome back. Okay, hold on. I'm still fixing myself. What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel where we tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. The truth goes on here. We don't lie over here. This is not a lying community. Don't do that. I'm gonna give you the truth, and it's gonna be the truth chic. No one actually calls me Naya Baya in real life, so I'm giving you the liberty to call me Naya Baya. You're welcome. How's it going? You love it? I do. That's it. It's late in the evening and I decided to bring you guys some sad news, obviously. They're trying to kill us. Yeah. You don't know about that? You don't know about Project 2025? Yeah. They're gonna kill us. Hoard us into the wall, into like a little community, and then need I say more? Only way that I found out about this was, of course, the news source, the best news source, TikTok. And we're just going to watch some TikToks that explain what's going to happen in Project 2025 a little bit better and a little bit more in detail. I also went on the website for Project 2025, project2025.org, mind you. And ew. Have y'all went to that website? Now, if you didn't know, the Project 2025 documentation is actually a 920 page document because they want to make sure that no one's actually reading it. We're not in the times of newspaper anymore. We don't read newspapers anymore. Like, bro, if you don't shorten this up and put it in a TikTok, and that's what people did. That's why we're here today. But I do want to kind of tell you that I did go on the website. The very first paragraph on the page makes it sound like it's like, I can't believe that we're in a time where people want to have identity. The 1970s ruined a lot for lives. It ruined a lot with people realizing that they don't have to go for the American dream. And we don't like that. We really hate that people are trying to abolish racism in this country. We gotta stick to our roots, guys. Stick to what you know. Slaves, come on, guys. You guys don't want that again. Look at him, just as happy. Just happy. Yeah, this is not, maybe it's AI. We can only hope and pray that it's AI, and that AI has actually gotten pretty far in being able to create videos of people not actually doing these things. One could only hope, right? Now, this next one is the guy who does the teaching. The teacher, and he's the one that's been spreading awareness about how the children don't know their shapes from their numbers. He start off cursing, yeah, but yeah, let's go ahead and watch what he's talking about.
What the going on here? I beg your finest party. Y'all heard about Project 2025? Have y'all been keeping y'all into the streets? Roll the footage.
We're actually going to watch this video too. I have this one saved.
Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. The Department of Education would be eliminated, cutting students off from civil rights protections and ending essential Title I funding for K-12 schools.
Every child has a right to an education, guys, and I'm standing on it. Like, I don't think y'all really understand what's going on here. They really trying to cut funding for schools, K-12 school. Like, do y'all not understand Title I funding? Do y'all not know how many kids are going to be affected by that? Now, understand these are policies and priorities for the next conservative president.
The mandate outlines policy priorities for the next conservative president. Is that correct?
It does.
You've done a great job. I just want to let you know.
Y'all gotta listen. Y'all gotta understand what's going on here. They're trying to eliminate the entire Department of Education. The whole thing gone.
It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce.
Project 2025 recommends abolishing the Department of Education, whose programs would either be transferred to other government agencies or terminated. Scientific research would receive federal funding only if it suits conservative principles. Now, when I was trying to stress to y'all how bad it was with y'all kids not knowing shapes, y'all was calling people trying to have me terminated. Now they trying to terminate the whole Department of Education. Are y'all calling them? Y'all calling up there? I just want to know. Y'all calling up there? I just want to know. Y'all, we got to do better by our kids. We have to do better by our kids because they're not trying to do better by our kids. They don't give a fuck about our kids. The link is in the bio. Summer intensive curriculum coming out for 3rd through 8th grade next week. I'm telling you, y'all, we have to do better by our kids because they do not give a fuck. about our kids. I'm telling you, they trying to cut out the whole Department of Education. Don't get how these kids gonna learn. Who gonna teach them? Also, get out and go vote. Y'all see what they want for the next conservative president. So get out and go vote. If that's what you want, girl, do you. But that's not what I want.
You heard it here first, folks. Education is already bad. It's already going downhill. It was going downhill when I was in school, and you know, like it's not. The children are being left behind. George Washington. My see, already started. Right. We're going to remove these books. We're going to start off with these books because we don't want our children to have or to know or to see or feel or understand other people, right? And how they may go about their lives. And then it goes off into the history. Well, we don't want the kids to feel like they had a part in how the history of America has played out. We don't want them to feel any type of way. We don't want them to know how horrific and graphic it was. Honestly, when I think about it, it's just like, why do you guys want to repeat history? Things like World War I, World War II, I was about to say World War III. We're almost there. No point did anyone want to be like, oh, okay, well, you know, this nation over here is kind of different, and these group of people is different. So I should learn about them, or I just mind my business. This next one is by Advice from Lewis Reloaded. He's been doing this a lot. He has his own, I think, playlist about Project 2025. You should really check it out. It's the gist, and that's what we really need to know, right? Who needs to read 920 pages?
Hello, average American barely getting by.
Please lower the rent.
How about instead of making your life better, I get rid of student loan forgiveness?
Why?
So we can use that money for rich people and not you poor people.
But the working class contributes most to America.
Do you think we care? The rich doesn't benefit from it, so why would we help you?
What about the kids?
We're gonna take money from them too by cutting education funding off from kindergarten through 12th grade. Then we'll remove their civil rights protection
What about
programs.
low-income families whose kids can't afford lunch?
Then I guess they start. This isn't enough for your rent. Hello, average American woman.
Ha.
Who told you could talk? This is a man's world.
Says who?
White
Not
men,
the
we're gonna
tape.
need you to have more kids.
I'll be homeless if I have a kid.
That's too bad because we're making abortion illegal. As well as condoms and contraceptives.
See, it starts. It's already started.
We already have 500,000 kids in the foster care system and are removing benefits for them too.
Well, now there's about to be 500,001.
Like we care. That child will just be another employee for our businesses.
So my forced pregnancy is just another employee to you?
Absolutely. See you in 9 months. Hello, federal employee.
Hey, boss.
I am not your boss. You're fired.
What happened?
Sorry, you're being replaced by my little cousin who's not qualified for the job.
But I work in cybersecurity.
But you don't kiss my butt like he does, and he'll be a yes man to illegal things I want him to do.
Wouldn't the FBI crack down on these illegal things?
Who do you think we're replacing them with? Idiot! You will now die by firing squad in 3.
Because it's not funny. It's not funny, but it kind of is. Like, y'all, we are on a rock in the middle of space, and they're trying to kill us. Our money could go somewhere more important, you know? NASA, what's out there? Not that we will ever know. They always know, like the celebrities, the higher-ups, the government, they always know what's going on before they release it to us. Of course, they already knew aliens was here. It's the fact that they release it right when they're about to do it. We're just the last to know. We're just, you know, we thinking that, okay, day by day, we make it, we trek it, we hike it, and we'll get there. Nope. 10 days ago, they moved the flag. You're hiking for 10 hours because they already moved where you're supposed to be going. That is your fault. Hey, you know, step it up. Oh, that's my baby. There she is. There's baby. Hey, girl. Oh. No, okay. This next one is the actual hearing with Representative Presley. She was just going over all the things that were in Project 2025, like the little document of the 920 pages.
Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. The Department of Education would be eliminated. cutting students off from civil rights protections and ending essential Title I funding for K through 12 schools. The Department of Justice would go on a murdering spree. It would rush to use the death penalty and expand its use to even more people while circumventing due process protections. Project 25 not only calls for national book bans in schools, but also creates a list of banned words for the federal government that would be deleted from, quote, every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists, end quote. Here are just a few of the words on the list: diversity, gender, reproductive health, and of course, conservatives want to ban the word abortion. On that note, abortion care would be inaccessible and illegal no matter where you live. Now, we could have an entire hearing on how these policies would quite literally ruin and end lives, and I didn't even touch upon proposals for housing, climate change, worker protections, and more. If enacted, Project 2025 would destroy the federal government as we know it.
My confusion comes from what America was built on, okay? The amendments that we all had to learn, I don't know if you guys have had to learn them, but when I was in school, we had to memorize the 10 Commandments. The very first one is the most easiest one, is the right to religion, the right to politics, the right to freedom of speech, and blah, 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 blah. It is hypocrisy in its finest, for starters. You guys want to remove that, but also keep America, put America back where it was? But you want to remove the freedom of speech? Because there's no way that you want to take America back. Again, this is their words. They're trying to, like, the very first paragraph in the Project 2025 documentation is just like, okay, well, we hate that America isn't, like, conservative anymore, basically. And it's like, so you want to take away the rights of people that were given to them because we didn't have any rights when we had to fight from Great Britain to move over to this land. And now you're basically doing the same thing that you didn't want to have initially, but you want to go back to not having that for people, but you want to keep it because we got to go back to conservativeness, conservatory-isness. Why? What? How is this not seen as treason? Is it because the president wants to do it? Is it because this is Trump's little rendezvous? Hey, he going to jail for treason anyway. We need to have a republic. They're saying that we need a Republican in-house, in presidency, in order for this to, like, you know, continue. Are all Republicans nutcases? Are they all for this? Because if a Republican is running and it's not Trump, I was pretty sure that this is Trump's. I'm talking about pretty sure. I should just find that information before I relay that to you, shouldn't I? I was correct. It is Trump's propaganda. It is Trump's potential presidency agenda. That's what it's called. His wish list. If y'all let this man run for president, if y'all excuse this man, what does America really stand for? Don't answer that. Patriarchy. Oh. Patriotic. Patriotism. Oh, wrong symbol. Cacaw. I don't know. Give me an eagle. We love to see it. Next one is by Jasmine Crockett, House Representative for Dallas and a few others in Texas. That's my girl.
Let's see, you're the executive director for the America First Legal, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And America First Legal is a member of Project 2025, which is dedicated to creating a playbook for the next conservative administration and what it calls the Project Pillars, correct?
We are proud contributors to Project 2025.
Okay. And are you familiar with Project 2025's mandate for leadership?
In fact, I am.
Okay. And in fact, you wrote some of the sections of this mandate related to the DOJ, correct?
Sure did.
And the mandate outlines policy priorities for the next conservative president. Is that correct?
It does.
You've done a great job. I just want to let you know. All right, so let's walk through some of the provisions of the mandate. It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce, deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. It also has the repealing of Schedule F status for thousands of federal employees to allow a president to replace career civil servants with unqualified partisan loyalists. That's probably my favorite of it. It also prohibits the FBI from combating the spread of misinformation and disinformation, like Russia and China, who are actively trying to interfere with American elections. I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. And I know that there was allegedly a joke about dictators and whether or not that's funny, but in the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny, and Project 2025 is giving the playbook for authoritarianism as well as the next dictator to come in.
Of course she had to eat. Of course she had to eat. She was like, you're doing a great job. I just want to let you know. Because most people are combative and don't answer the question, like to beat around the bush, beat that bush dead. And you're not doing that. You are standing tall, standing on business, standing 10 toes down. We love to see it. Clear as day. They said over the last 10 years, we were able to get away with a lot of stuff. We didn't actually have to hide it from them. We didn't actually have to hide anything. We could have just said it. So we're just gonna say it and see how that goes. And that's what they're doing now. We've been seeing this happen, people. It's been happening in front of our faces. We've been doing this all willy-nilly. What happens? We're trying to be nice and have a peaceful protest. I don't know why I did air quotations, because normally they are peaceful until like the police come and they start trying to break stuff up or whatever. But understand that if people aren't inconvenienced, then nothing gets changed. Nothing changes. If their daily lives are not affected, because a normal average person lives on autopilot. If it doesn't affect them, then it doesn't matter. How do you affect people by peacefully talking to them? Because again, a lot of people need to touch their hand on a stove. They can't be told, hey, the stove is hot. What do we plan to do with our commandments? Are we keeping some of them and throwing some of them away? Are we like ignoring them altogether? Or is the commandments only for a certain type of person? What are we aiming for here? All right, and our last video is going to be this woman. What's her name? Our last video is going to be this woman, Jess Craven, on TikTok. She explains Project 2025 a little bit better than like the funny stuff, of course.
So I've got something that may be useful for you. I was talking to some people today and we were talking about how to win the election in November, and I said, well, one thing we need to do is more messaging. For example, did you know that only 1 in 4 Americans have ever heard of Project 2025? 1 in 4! I said, do you know what Project 2025 is? You know, it's the plan that Republicans have in place that they're going to execute in the first 180 days if Trump is elected. And they were like, yeah, kind of, but can you give us some talking points? And I was like, okay, sure. So here they are in case they help you. And caveat, of course, before I start, Project 2025 is a very long document. And so to give like a 2-minute little spiel on it is hard, but I'm going to try. If you're talking to a friend on the street corner and you just want to give them the highlights, try this. So you can start by saying something like, did you know that there is a large group of billionaire right-wing Christian nationalists who has put together a blueprint for the next Republican president, which will assumedly be Trump? It's called Project 2025. It's 920 pages long, and it is a thorough plan for how they're going to change the country fundamentally to a place that is unrecognizable to almost all of us. Project 2025 is basically a plan for systematically taking apart the federal government, which means that all of the things we rely upon in the federal government, Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits, you know, the EPA, workers' protections, all those things dismantled. Project 2025 has a very clear plan to extend the powers of the executive branch and give the president the powers of basically an autocrat. The president would then use those powers to issue executive orders that would basically reverse a lot of our civil rights. Contains a plan to redirect the military to support domestic law enforcement, and that includes using the Insurrection Act to stop protests on U.S. soil that the administration doesn't agree with. It will remove pretty much all government protections from LGBTQIA people and criminalize many of them. It will reverse racial equality, attack diversity, and reverse all environmental gains. It will replace secular education with a Christian theocracy, and there is a specific plan to get rid of the Department of Education completely. It's going to use something called Schedule F to remove 50,000 civil servants on day one, and they will recruit and train 20,000 conservatives to fill those jobs. Those conservatives, by the way, will be required to take a sort of loyalty pledge where they say that the election in 2020 was stolen. Otherwise, they will not be hired. Historically, our defense policy has been one of defense. They want to change that to offense. Require U.S. foreign policy and U.S. aid to align with a pro-life agenda, and use a very old law that is already on the books called the Comstock Act to ban all abortion and likely most birth control on day one. And if someone challenges you and says, oh, this can't possibly be true, the great news is this is all online and they can go read it themselves. That's how unashamed these people are of this plan. They're not even hiding it. So encourage your friend to do their own research. 1 in 4 Americans understanding that this is Republicans' plan is not enough. So spread the word. And then for us win.
They're trying to kill us because Trump is supposed to be in jail, should be in jail, shouldn't be in jail. A regular human would have got 90 years to their life, no probation. But he's getting, he just did like a little oopsie. He didn't mean it. It wasn't his fault. He wasn't an adult yet. Come on. Cut him some slack. Then we got Joe, which I don't know what's going on with him, man. Man is falling everywhere. He just falls. He falls on the ground. He falls asleep. He falls into Satanism. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that man. Okay, and he's running the country now, and he's trying to run again. He old. Nothing against old people, but we don't need old people, man. Most of us are in our 20s and 30s. It should stop at 30. You mean to tell me that we got a bunch of old boomers in the office talking about, well, how does it connect to the internet? If I have to help my grandma understand how to read something on her phone, nobody her age should be running for anything. And then we got Kamala Harris. If Joe stays in office, then Kamala's just gonna be laughing everywhere like she does. She's just gonna be laughing and silky. But alright, y'all, I'm actually gonna call it here. That's enough terrorism for today, So if you enjoyed yourself, if you want to keep this party going, then you gotta get to know me. I don't make the rules. That's not something I do. I just relay a message. In order to get to know me, then you gotta get to know these 3. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you the next time.